How y'all doing? I'm just waiting on a few people to get in here. It's not quite 10 o'clock yet. It's a minute till. What's up, Shirley? Uh, Still trying to do a little something here. Uh, I was trying to put my live also on Facebook too, but it's not letting me. So I don't know exactly what the hell is going on. Trying to learn how to live stream from. I've been trying my sister to join, but she was having a moment, so I don't know if she's going to get on. But I'm here. Okay. Um, I'll give you about 2 or 3 minutes to try to get her to join to see if she wants to join. Um, I might have to end up going live from my Zakram Relum page. I appreciate y'all for coming along. I'll get started in just a few minutes. Y'all, please give me just a moment. I'm trying to go live on Facebook as well. But it's not letting me do it. Okay. So, you all right, Shirley? Go live. Okay, so I'm supposed to start this at 9. I'm going to go ahead and start it at 9. I'm just going to live stream here on YouTube. Um, I don't know what the hell going on. I tried to do the live from my Marquez TV as well on Facebook. It wouldn't let me do it. Said broadcast failed, sorry, but something went wrong during your broadcast. Please try again. Then I tried to do it on my laptop, and it's giving me all types of problems. I can't win. But I'm here on YouTube, and I'm just trying to give a couple of minutes to get started. It's 10:03. I'm gonna go ahead and start at 10:05. At 10:05, I'm gonna go ahead and start. I've been doing some real good investigating and uh looking into this this stuff that's been going on here in the Arkansas Department of Corrections. What's up, Nader? Appreciate you for tuning in. I'm gonna get started in about 1 minute. It's 10:04. I was trying to get. I know I'm supposed to start it at 10, but I'm gonna give it to 10:05. I was trying to let some people that I know get started or get connected in here before I get started and start giving this information uh, about what's been going on in the Arkansas Department of Corrections. I appreciate you for understanding. Um, for y'all of this coming in, please hit that subscribe button. At the end, like the video, dislike it, whatever you choose. Leave a comment and also hit that notification bell so you can get notifications when I decide to go live. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started here. Turn on video. Something isn't working. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started here. So as you all know, there's been another this one is a homicide in the Arkansas Department of Corrections at the Cummins unit. And basically the news article that was put out, and according to the Arkansas Department of Corrections staff, it reads 31-year-old Deontay Gurley from Arkansas County. According to authorities with the Department of Corrections, they said that staff responded to reports of a disturbance around 2:30 a.m. Tuesday morning. There they found inmate Gurley involved in a physical altercation with another inmate. Gurley was taken to the infirmary where 30 minutes later he was in fact pronounced deceased. I've tried to call the Department of Corrections to get some clarification on exactly what happened. If the inmate that he was in the altercation with has been charged with anything. I already know that I wasn't able to get in contact with them, with anyone with the ADC. I know that they're 9 times out of 10 going to say that the Arkansas State Police are heading up the investigation now, and you will need to get in contact with the Arkansas with the Arkansas State Police, and they will give any additional information that it's out of the Arkansas Department of Corrections hands, except for disciplinary actions. Now, as you all know, I spent a number of years in the Arkansas Department of Corrections. And normally, that is the procedure when a death has occurred, especially one that is now being investigated as a homicide. And as we all know, this took place at the Cummins unit. And with this information that I'm going to provide, I'm not going to discuss the deceased inmates' criminal records, what they were in prison for, because I don't feel like that's really absolutely necessary. What I will be discussing about is the deaths, the manner of their deaths, and what possibly the Arkansas Department of Corrections and or state police are doing to place a conclusion at the end of their investigation, and what possibly is the conclusion of their investigation. So right now, Deontay Gurley's age 31. To my understanding, this is the first death at the Cummins unit in 2025. Now, I might be wrong on that. Someone else said that they know of other deaths that have taken place at the Cummins unit now, this year. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm wrong or I'm right. That just means that this death is the only one that I'm familiar with from the Cummins unit of 2025. Now, we did have a death last year at the Cummins unit on December the 11th, 2024. That involved a 51-year-old male. His name was Quincy Moore. I actually knew Quincy personally as the nickname Q-Tip. Q-Tip and I did time together at Varner when I first came down to Varner in 1993. The thing with that case with Q-Tip, I found out that it was in fact a homicide. Q-Tip was in administrative segregation. I believe he was. He was in a two-man cell. And the police, the CID special agent examined the scene, which is Q-Tip's cell, and said that the death is being investigated as a homicide. Now, I actually spoke with someone else that knows Q-Tip, knows me, and that was locked up with us as well. And he advised me that Q-Tip's cellmate is the one who murdered him. Now, how he murdered Q-Tip, which is Quincy Moore, I have absolutely no idea. So that's two homicides that I am aware of from the Cummins unit pretty much within the last 6 months, we would say. Now, I'm going to talk about some more other homicides or deaths that have occurred in the Arkansas Department of Corrections. So I'm going to kind of jump backwards and then I'm going to come back up, because there's one in particular that I'm going to discuss that should be investigated, but I don't think it's being investigated by the state police. But I have tagged the Arkansas State Police in this live, so you all could possibly look at and investigate one of the most recent deaths, which will be from the Varner unit, from the Varner Supermax unit. So I'm going to save that one actually for last to discuss, because it is a very sensitive case. We don't want to call it a homicide. We don't exactly know exactly what's the pertinent information, but we do know that the individual died in a single man cell. So, like I said, I will discuss that one last because I want to provide more attention to that particular one for my own specific reasons. Now, if we, I went back and I did some searching. So on May 26, 2018, there's an article that that reads that two ADC inmates found dead, making 4 deaths in less than a week, and 3 of those deaths in 2018 were at the East Arkansas Regional Unit, which is also known as Brickies in Brickies, Arkansas. And the other one was also at the Varner unit. So I'm going to break those down to you, and we're going to dissect those 4 deaths as well. Excuse me. So the first one was, and I wasn't able to find out this young man's age. He's the only one that I wasn't able to find out his age. D'Angelo Merriweather. D'Angelo Merriweather was found dead in May of 2018. He was one of 4 deaths that took place in a 1 week span in 2018. His death is marked as saying that it was linked to the what's it called? The I don't want to use the word fake or counterfeit. It's another word that I'm looking for, and I can't think of it right now, but it's it basically is synthetic. That's what it was. Synthetic marijuana, which is known as K2. So his death was linked to that. Now, you will probably wonder how was he an inmate in there and his death is linked to K2. Well, let me explain something to you all. In the Arkansas Department of Corrections, you can get any drug you want to in there. It will be brought in either through inmate work detail coming back to the unit. It can be brought in through the guards, prison staff. That includes nurses, doctors, commissary staff, correctional staff, kitchen supervisors, any one of that bringing it in. It can be brought in through family to inmate visitation. But as far as drugs getting in, contraband, it can be brought in. There were, at one point, I remember some years ago back, a lot of deaths were spiraling because of K2. I actually spoke with some inmates on the phones back in the past that were telling me of inmate deaths that were going on because of K2. Again, which is a synthetic marijuana. So D'Angelo Merriweather's death was said to be attributed to his consumption of K2. Now, the second inmate that died at East Arkansas Regional Unit, Brickies, within a 1 week span in 2018 was a Charles Garza, 37 years of age. I don't have any information on Mr. Garza, what the cause of his death is or was, if it's still being investigated by, Arkansas State Police or what. Then the third inmate who died also at East Arkansas Regional Unit, Bricky's, in 2018 was a Joshua Autry. He was 33 years old. He actually died on May the 20th of 2018. So those three deaths were in a 1 week span at the East Arkansas Regional Unit. Imagine that. Imagine working at a facility or being the warden, assistant warden, the warden over treatment, the warden over security, the head warden, the major, captain, and all of them, and you have not one, not two, but 3 deaths at your facility in 1 week. That raises some questions for me. I want to know what's going on. Even though one of those deaths were attributed to K2, still it's a death at your unit that should not have happened. We think and believe that when an inmate is sentenced in the court system to the Department of Corrections, whether it be Arkansas, whether it be California, whether it be Illinois, whether it be New York, whether it be Philadelphia, whether it be Florida, whether it be Texas, unless they're sentenced to death or life without the possibility of parole, unless they're sentenced to a large amount of numbers, if they're young and they're sentenced to something like 20, 30 years or less than 20 years, we believe that they're going to go in there, do their time, and they're going to get out. We don't believe that our family member is going to get 4 or 5 years as a prison sentence in the Department of Corrections and then never get out. You don't think like that. You just wouldn't think like that. You would think, okay, they've got 3 or 4 years. He's gonna be out or she's gonna be out in 18 months or whatever. And he or she'll be back with their family. But to get that call that the individual has died, and the prison system isn't going to tell you, the family member, when they call you, hey, your loved one was stabbed to death, or your loved one was beaten to death or poisoned by a guard. They're not going to tell you that. They're just going to probably, if they call you or when they call you, they're going to tell you, we're sorry to inform you that your loved one, such has died. I can't give you any information. The case has been turned over to the Arkansas State Police, and they are heading up the investigation. Bing, bang, boom. That's it. That would be pretty much the statement that they would give. Now, the family would be able to get the body, to my understanding. Now, if you've got a life sentence down there and you're serving a life sentence, that part I don't know. I don't know if they're going to keep the body, bury it down there, whatever, because you're a ward of the state, because you've been sentenced to life. But if you've been, I don't know exactly how that goes, but your family would normally get your body if they want it, and then and that's only after the body has been sent to the Arkansas Crime Lab, if the ADC has requested that the Arkansas State Police do an investigation, and then the body would be released after the investigation has concluded, I believe, or after the autopsy has been performed. But I will tell you something, and I will talk to, when I say this, I will talk to Shirley personally on live here, and any other family members that are on here that will be listening concerning the last death that I will be speaking about. We will discuss that in details, and I will try to give you the answers as best as I possibly can to your questions. Now, the fourth death that occurred in 2018. Hold on, let me read this. That's sad. People expecting for their kids to come home from the penitentiary lifeless, not dead. Well, my cousin had life. He passed about 2 years ago. They left his body. They let his body got to the family. Okay, so that and actually I will tell you this. And the reason I said that because of this, because the prison system actually has a burial place down there in Grady, Arkansas, for the inmates who have no family and they die and no family wants to get their body to bury them. So just like in the movie Life, they'll probably get some inmates, and they'll probably put a pine box, put the body in a pine box. It probably won't even be embalmed. I don't know. I'm not trying to crack a joke about it, but they probably won't even embalm the body or anything. I don't know. And they'll just put it in a pine box and just bury it at the gravesite down there, whether it be whatever unit you're at. So the fourth person that died in 2018, in May of 2018, which died in a 1 week span of the other three that I just gave, was a Kevin Shelton. Kevin was 30 years of age, and he actually died at the Varner unit. Now, I actually kind of remember this case to somewhat. If I'm not mistaken, there was a video with this case where it was some foul play involved with Kevin getting into it with the guards, and the guards supposedly either attacked him or I can't remember exactly what it was, and let me stop myself. I don't want to go into spreading rumors that are not true. I just kind of remember hearing about his death, and all I know is it was something that just wasn't right. I could say that. It just was something that just was not right about Kevin's death. Let me make mention of this. So since 2024, I looked up some stuff on through some of my sources, and I came up with deaths by suicide at Cummins unit as of May 21st, 2024. There were 6 deaths by suicide in the first quarter of 2024. In the first quarter of 2024, there were 2 suicides and 29 attempts. Now, let me go back and say that again. From what I gathered from when I Googled this, it said May 21st, 2024, there were 6 deaths by suicide. In the first quarter of 2024, there were 2 suicides and 29 attempted suicides. As far as homicides, September the 20th, 2024, there was an inmate named Charles Briley, Briley. He was 48 years of age. This man was found unresponsive in his barracks. And this was at the Cummins unit. As of a search today, it says that Mr. Briley's, the circumstances of his death are still under investigation. That's as of today. If you search his name on Google to come up with what was the cause of his death, it doesn't say on Google what was the cause of his death. It says that it's still the investigation of his death is still, or the circumstances of his death is still under investigation. And pretty much with all of these is going to say that. No matter how far back they are, they will not seemingly state why these, or what the cause of these deaths were. Now, for this last one, I'm going to discuss about a young man named Frankie Drennan III. Frankie was 37 years old. His date of birth was June 18th, 1986. And the day that he died was January the 26th of this year, 2025. Now, this death took place at the Varner Supermax. Frankie had served or had walked down 21, to my understanding, 21 calendar years. And he was set to come home this year. He was set to get out of prison and come home this year. I'm only going to speak about the facts of what we actually know right now. But the Arkansas State Police needs to investigate the death of Frankie Drennan III. Frankie Drennan was at the Varner Supermax unit in Grady, Arkansas, and he was in a single-man cell. It said that he was found unresponsive in his cell. Now, a lot of times I don't see how an individual can be unresponsive in their cell. if nothing has happened to them. Now, true, we can die of natural causes. The heart can just stop ticking. You can have a stroke, heart attack, what have you, aneurysm, whatever. But to my understanding, there was absolutely nothing medically wrong with Frankie. At 12 something, but they didn't call my sister till 4 a.m. And this man, you can't say that he committed suicide. That's out the window. I'm even going to eliminate suicide here because it made absolutely no sense that this man served 21 years, has family that loved him, and was getting ready to come home this year, and he did something to himself to cause his demise. No, that's out the window. Now we believe that there was some foul play in Frankie's death. Again, I'm not going to speak on that because I was asked not to. And you all will see the comments on here from a friend of mine named Shirley. That was Frankie's auntie. All we will say is we know some things, or they know some things, that is the reason of saying that the Arkansas State Police needs to investigate the death of Frankie Drennan III. Again, this young man was 37 years of age. He had served 21 years. So he had basically been locked up since he was 16 years of age. And if my math is correct, and that just came off the top of my head, so I'm not saying anything wrong. He had walked a 21-year sentence down. Okay, so she just said I'm right. So this young man was 16 years of age, and he had been locked up since he was 16. He served 21 years. He was 37 years of age, and he was set to come home this year. Now, I know some people personally that knows Frankie. That attended his funeral, said that I believe Frankie was from the East End. I believe a lot of East End people were at the funeral. So Frankie was loved and very well known. South End. So Frankie was very well known and very well loved by many people. Many people, not just his family, but he had many friends who were still here and waiting for him to come home. Okay, his brother and sister from the E. Okay. So his unexpected death is something of question that should be investigated vigorously by CID of the Arkansas State Police. Shirley, I don't know if you all have spoken with anyone with the Arkansas State Police or not. I know you all are still waiting on the autopsy to come back. I don't know if the state is the one that's doing the autopsy or if you all had an independent autopsy done. But I hope and pray that the truth comes out, which, talking with you, we already know of some other stuff that are underlying factors to why the Arkansas State Police needs to investigate. Excuse me. Yes, I was waiting to see my son walk out those prison doors. I never thought I would have to bury my son from the prison. The state police never contacted me at all. Tanya, hey, I can't, because I don't have kids, I can't and will not sit up here and say, I know how you feel. It would be beneath me to sit up here and say, I know how you feel. And I don't. I know you're grieving. I know you're hurt. I know you're in pain. But I don't know how you feel. And a lot of people tend to, they don't be meaning any harm, but a lot of people tend to tell people, I know what you're going through. I know how you feel. No, you don't. No, you don't. They don't mean any bad, but that's just what people do. And that's no. But I will tell you this. It is my belief and my heartfelt prayers that you get the justice that you deserve. I'm doing what I can do to help you and your family by making this live, by live streaming on my platform. I'm hoping that I can be that individual with this live, that it can get out there to the right investigators, the right people that can make the state police say, hold on, wait a minute, something's not right here. It is not by coincidence or mistake that all these homicides and all these deaths are going on in the Arkansas Department of Corrections by fault. There is something going on. Let me tell y'all something. I spent 12 years, 10 months in that place. I've been to every unit there is. I've been to Delta Regional, which is in Dermott. I've been to Cummins. I've been to Varner. I've been to JCJ in Pine Bluff. I've been to um, Diagnostic. I've never been to the work complex. I've been to the Malvern unit. I've been to the Wrightsville unit. I've been to East Arkansas unit in Dermot. I'll say in Brickies. I've been to Calico Rock. All in that 12 years. And I've been to Newport. And I have seen some deaths happen. I've seen some stabbings happen. I've seen some inmates get their whole heads cut off. About I seen one dude get his throat slashed about playing the gay games, or he was trying to turn a dude out that didn't go. I've seen a dude get stabbed, or I didn't see the actual stabbing, but when the guy came being brought down the hallway, and guards were running him, and one were holding his arms and the other holding his leg, blood was just pouring out of him because the other inmate had stuck him with a filleting knife and cut him from stuck him and cut him like he was a fish and cut him wide open. That his guts and blood was just hanging out. I saw that with my own two eyes in 2021. Excuse me, in 2001. Was it 2001? Yeah, in 2001 at the Scott Grimes unit, which is also known as Newport. Tony said, is there any way that you can tell me who to contact? I'm very hurt behind my son's death in ADC. I don't know specifically, but I will tell you the Criminal Investigation Division, which is CID for the Arkansas State Police, because the Arkansas Department of Corrections isn't going to do anything right now. They're not going to do anything. They're going to close it. And what I'm telling you is you need to contact the CID investigators. Let me see. I don't have their name right off, but what I'll do is try to look the information up so as to make it a little bit easier on you when I get off live and port that information to you. I'll probably give it to Shirley and let Shirley give it to you or what have you. But I will do everything in my possible power to get you the information that you need, so that you can hopefully get the ball rolling to find out exactly what happened to your son. Words can't explain how I'm feeling. I know. No, they can't. I'm not going to stop until I get justice for my son. And you should not stop. That's right. You should not stop. I really appreciate you for going live and speaking on this topic. It is all my pleasure. It is all my pleasure. Just like I use my platform of Marquez TV when I'm out on the scenes investigating homicides, videoing, whether it be a wreck, whether it be a fire, whether it be a child molester case or whatever, I can at least use my platform for investigative purposes for things like this. I take it as a passion, especially when an inmate dies in the Arkansas Department of Corrections, because I grew up there. I spent all my years of my 20s in the Arkansas Department of Corrections. I got locked up when I was 19. So I never got out until I was 32. So all my 20s, that whole entire decade, and then 31, and then to 32, I was still locked up until I got out when I was 32. I went in August 23rd, 1992, and got out June 3rd of 2005. So I was just 2 months and what, um, 20 days, 2 months and 20 days or so, short of being 13 years. So when something like this happens, it weighs dear to my heart because I feel like when whoever you are, when you're sentenced to the Department of Corrections and you're given a number of years and you have a date that you're supposed to get out, you should get out, especially if you're rehabilitated. Of course, unless you down there for messing with a child, then I don't believe you should be able to get out. If you do anything to a baby or a child or anything, I think you should just be bypassed. I think you should be taken out behind the woodshed and dealt with. Shirley said right because Frankie was very healthy. Uh, Sissy said we can see if the state trooper can open an investigation. Right. I really appreciate that. You're welcome, Tanya. Hey, listen. Not just with this, not just with what I'm doing here this evening. Excuse me. Even from this point on, if you need me to walk with you into the Arkansas State Police headquarters, I will walk with you. If you need me to walk to the state capitol with you to call on legislators, I will walk with you. And I've got some people that'll walk with me and walk with you and walk with both of us. So I extend my services to you as much as I possibly can to walk with you, go with you to the Arkansas State Police headquarters. If and when you do, have all your documentation ready, have all your proof ready that you have to show any video, audio, of recordings, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Have all that. And you can let them know that I'm right now, your legal representation, and whatever said, I'm in there with you, and I promise you, I will make sure that they do what they're supposed to do to get you the justice that you deserve, because Frankie should be at home right now with you. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. And again, I give you my deepest, heartfelt condolences to you and your family in the time of your bereavement. That's from there. I do. So Shirley has my number. Shirley, you can give her my number. Y'all can call me. I would say anytime, but I don't want y'all calling me no 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning to wake me up. But hey, seriously though, if y'all need, whenever you're ready to do it, just let me know. Let me know. Give me some advance notice. Like if you plan on going down there, well, you can't go tomorrow. Well, tomorrow, yeah, because if the roads are clear or whatever, or you want to wait till next week till the roads clear, whenever, um, just let me know and say, hey, what your day tomorrow look like or whatever, and I'll make it happen. All right? All right. Shirley, I appreciate you. Tanya, you're in my prayers. Shirley, you're in my prayers. We be woke, can't sleep after what happened to our baby. Yeah. Y'all take care. And I appreciate each and every one of you all for tuning in here. Normally I do prison passages. This is considered as my prison passage um, for this evening. Because these are the things that goes on in the Department of Corrections. Sadly, we have homicides even in prison. We have suicides in prison. And a lot of times those homicides don't just come about from an inmate killing another inmate. Sometimes those homicides come about prison staff killing inmates. It happens, people. It has happened. Not just here in Arkansas, but in many states. Look at what just happened up there in New York. That video where all those guards, all those police officers on video with medical staff in the room, they beat and punched and everything that black man while he was handcuffed until he was dead. If you didn't believe it at first, you can believe it from that video. Inmates get killed all the time in these prisons around the world by guards beating them or strangling them to death. It has happened. You could take that to the bank and cash it. It has happened. And it has very well possibly happened in this case. I'm not saying that it was. I'm just saying that it's possible that it could have. And if it did, if a guard did put his or her hands on Frankie and cause his demise, then that guard should be dealt with accordingly. Newport races. I went down there to pick up my ex-husband. Stop and ask somebody because I was lost and they did not come to the front to help me. Well, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. And until next time, this your boy Marquez Miller for Marquez TV on Facebook. Marquez Miller on Instagram. You got my YouTube. Hey, I will bring these videos to you as much as I possibly can, but I need your support. And when I say I need your support, what I mean by I need you to, one, hit that subscribe button. It does absolutely no good for me to make these videos and you watching them, but you're not subscribing. It don't cost you a thing to hit that subscribe button. So hit that subscribe button to the video, put a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whichever one. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you thought, what could be done better, what can't be done, a suggestion to any of the information that I put in there to help these families to get the closure that they need and the justice that they need for their loved ones. And finally, hit that notification bell. So that way you can be notified every time I go live. It's just that simple. Subscribe, like, comment, subscribe, like, comment, notification bell. I appreciate y'all. Okay, we not stopping. They mess with the wrong son. Sorry, dog. Exactly, Shirley. And I'm riding right along with y'all. Until next time, y'all take care. And as I always say, God bless your hearts and all of your parts. Y'all take care.